So, hi viewers, welcome back to our interactive program. As we continue the Autocad training, please don't forget to like our page in the button below and leave your comments for further discussions. Okay, so today I want us to move on to how we can use these modifying tools to modify various objects that we have drawn using AutoCAD. These modifying tools help us to modify a project or a given drawing in AutoCAD. So under modify, we've got these tools here, which I'm going to show you. We have move, how you can move an object, maybe displacement of an object from one point to another. We also have copy. We have mirror. We also have trim and much more. So to start, I'm going to have a sample drawing, like a circle or maybe a rectangle, and I'm going to show you how now we can use the modifying tools to modify this component. So I'm going to start with the move. So when you click on move, it asks you to select the object from the command line. You'll see here, you select the object, or you can select multiple objects. Then you hit your enter key on the keyboard, and then it asks you for the base point. The base point is the point of reference for the mouse. So you can click just near the object as your base point, and you can see you can move by clicking where you want to take it on. That's how we do move. You simply click on an object, hit your enter key, then you move. That's how moving works in using AutoCAD. Same time, you also have copy. Copy, not just the usual copy which you have, but this one using AutoCAD, you don't need to press shift key. So we are going to have copy, producing duplicates of an object. It will prompt us to select an object. You select the object and you press your enter key, or you can select multiple objects, then you hit your enter key. So also it asks you for the base point. You have to pick a base point, the point of reference for the mouse. Just click one of the nearest point of the object. As you click in various places, you can see you are producing copies of the same object. That's how we do copy. Once you are done, you press enter. So we have duplicates of objects which have been copied. Then another command which you have is called rotate. How you can rotate an object at an angle, or you can use your mouse or the cursor to rotate an object. Okay, so when you have to rotate, it asks you for select the object you want to rotate. You select an object, you hit your enter key. Again, it also asking for the base point, just point of reference. You can click, so you can rotate, or you can specify the rotation angle. You can see we have specify the rotation angle, which you can type, or you can use your cursor to align it to the angle the inclination angle that you want to align it to. Then you click the next point. So you see this is a rotated rectangle. That's how we perform rotate. So with all these tools, move, copy, and rotate, the next procedure, when you select an object, it asks you for the base point. Just pick any point near the object, and then you perform the function using the command that you've picked. Okay. So let's move on. We also got this called mirror, a reflection of a copied object. Yeah. So when you have your mirror, you can mirror an object. So you click on mirror, you select the object you want to mirror, then you hit your enter key. Then it from the command line, you can see here it asks you for specify the first point of your mirror line. So I can click by clicking. That's my first point. As I click on the second point, you can see the object comes in as a reflection. So this is our mirror line. So you click the first point, and also from the command line, it asks for the second point. You click on the second point, then you hit your enter key. So you will find the object has been mirrored. It has been reflecting of a copied object. So you use the mirror. Yeah. So mirror, you can use it. Maybe you have drawn a half-as, maybe you've drawn like an arc, and you want to mirror. You select the object, enter. I want to mirror from this point down to the other point. You can see then the second point, then you hit your enter key. So once you hit your enter key, you can see it's a reflection of an object. That's how you perform mirror. Yeah. So those are commonly used commands under modify, which is also very, very important when you are using AutoCAD. Then you've got also this type called trim, how you can trim objects or cutting of objects at particular intersections. Yes. So you can only trim when the object intersects at a point. So for example, I can have maybe a circle and maybe another circle at that point. So when you look at this circle and this rectangle, they intersect at a point. So this one enables me now, I can use my trim command to trim this object. So when you come to trim, or you can just type trim. So when you click on trim, it asks you to select the object. So when it asks you to select the object, so don't select the object first. Just hit your enter key. And then now you click the side you want to do away with. So you'll see your object is being trimmed at a point of intersection. That's how we perform trimming. So when you click on trim, you just press enter. Then you click the side that you want to cut. Also, I can also have a line. Maybe I'm having a line up to that point. You can see the intersect. These lines intersect the circle. So you click on trim, you hit your enter key, and then now you can try to trim. You only click the side that you want to do away with, like that. So you can see this object already has been trimmed because they intersect. We have intersecting lines on that particular circle. That's how we perform trim. That's how trim works. Yeah. Another modifying tools which you always have is how you can have rounded corners of an object. For example, we also got the fillet. The fillet help us to create rounded corners of an object. So when you're using the fillet command, what you need to do here is to, because these rounded corners, so you need to specify the radius. So the radius will be provided, because you need to specify the radius to have that arc. So when you click on the fillet, before you select an object as prompted in the command line, you pick an option for R. So you just click R and then you specify the fillet radius. So the fillet radius can be 7.5. Then you hit your enter key. Then you click that point and this point, those two lines. So you can see this edge has been filleted. So you come to fillet, you pick an option for R, then you type the fillet radius. The radius will be provided. Then hit your enter key. Then you click those two edges. You can also press enter to continue. There. You can also click enter again. Because we are continuing with the previous command, you will see the object has been filleted. So it produces rounded corners of our object. That's how we perform fillet tool in AutoCAD. So fillet, you specify radius. And then another tool here is also called the chamfer. We have chamfer. When you look at the chamfer, it bevels the edges of an object. So for the fillet, we have rounded corners. For the chamfers, we have slanting corners of an object. So in the fillet, we specify radius. Then when you come to chamfer, now you have to specify, or you can simply type chamfer, CH. Then you have chamfer. So before we select an object, for the chamfer, you check here and pick distance, because you have to specify the distance of the lines that you want to chamfer. Then you click on distance, and then now you specify the first chamfer distance, maybe 5, you hit your enter key, and then the second chamfer distance, also 5, you hit your enter key. So when you click on this and this, you can see we have a slanting corner. So the distance from here to here is 5 and here to here is 5. So if you still want to continue, just hit your enter key, click this and this. You can see it produces slanting corners of your object. So the distance also you'll be provided with when you're performing the chamfer command in AutoCAD. So those are some of the tools which are commonly used when you are performing or when you are drawing a project or an engineering drawing using AutoCAD. You will be required to use such commanding tools. So as we continue, we also got these types. We also have array. Array is a tool in AutoCAD which helps us to distribute copied objects in some particular pattern. Then so we use the array. So array, we've got rectangular array or the rectangular pattern. We have path array and the polar array. So when you come to the rectangular array here, you distribute copied objects by specifying the number of rows and columns. By specifying the number of rows and columns, that's for the rectangular. So I can have maybe a small circle. And then I want to distribute these copied objects by specifying the number of rows and columns. So I use rectangular array. So when you click on the rectangular array, you first of all select an object. Once you select the object, you hit your enter key to move to the next. So here, when you move to the next, you can see you have the array creation. So here we have columns and rows. So determine the number of columns by typing. Maybe you need 8 columns. You hit your enter key. You can see they are distributed. Those are 8 columns. And the number of rows, you can type 5. Then you hit your enter key. So as you zoom, you can see the distribution of copied objects by specifying rows and columns. And then this is the distance between them. You can also specify. You can do 10. You can see them move. And also this one, you can do like 8. That's the distance. So you can see them moving. So the distance for rows and columns, you can specify, and the number of rows and columns when you are performing rectangular array. So such distribution, you use rectangular array. You can select that arrayed object, then it takes you back so that you can do your editing. You can reduce the number, or maybe that to be 6. You can see them being reduced. That's how we also edit an array. Another tool which we also have here is called the polar array. The polar array, I can have a bigger circle and maybe like a small circle there. So I want to distribute this small circle along this path here. So this one will give us the path, the bigger circle, and then the small circle will act as an object to distribute. So from there, I come to polar array. You select the object. Then you hit your enter key, or you press enter from the button, keyboard. And then it asks you for specify the center point of the array. Because since we are using a polar array, you must specify the center point. So the center point will be the center point of the bigger circle. So when you click, then now you will see here we have the array creation. So for the polar array, you determine the number of items. So you can have 20. Then you press enter. So when you press enter, now you can see this object has been distributed. There are 20, and then the angle of distribution is 360. So the distance, so 20 by 360 gives us 18. So once you've done that, you just press enter, and then you'll see such distribution. So these are the commonly used array distribution methods which you can use: polar array and the rectangular array. Then you also got this called the path array. This one help you. Now you can distribute, maybe you can draw your path and then also have an object from there. So this is my path and this is the object I want to distribute along this particular path. So when you come to path array, you can do like, also you can have path array. Yeah, so select the object, hit your enter key, then it asks you for the path curve. You can click. So when you click on that path, you can see the object has been distributed along that particular path. So that's how we perform arrays, distribution of copied objects using particular patterns: path array, rectangular array, and the polar array. So it depends on the type of project that you are doing. So you can always pick either any of the arrays which we have here as you do your design work in AutoCAD. Another tool which you also have when you're performing when doing using AutoCAD is called offset. So I can have a circle. You can have my circle. So offset, it creates parallel objects, parallel copies of an object. And it can be a line, it can be a circle, it can be an arc. So I want to produce parallel copies of this particular circle. So I use offset. So when you're using offset, when you click on the offset first, it asks you for the offset distance. So you need to specify the offset distance before you select an object. So from the command line, you'll see here, it's asking for the offset distance. So you can specify the offset distance. Maybe I need a distance of 5. Then you press enter. So when you click an object, as you click, you can select the object, click out. So you can see the distance between each and every circle is 5. I can also come down. I can also come to the inside. So as you click and then you click in, you'll see the distribution of that object at a distance of 5, 5 parallel to each other. So when you have to produce parallel objects, you use offset and then you specify the distance. So the distance, you'll be given the distance on how the distance for the offset objects, then you just click. It depends. You can either choose any direction. I can pick that line, then I can have my offset. So when you click on the offset, first thing, it asks you for or you can just do offset using the keyboard. You can see the offset there. Then it asks you for the offset distance. You can tap 10, enter. So you can click. So as you click in that direction, click and click up, you can see the lines are going at a distance of 10, 10, 10, 10 parallel to each other. So that's how we also perform offset. So those are some of the commonly used commands when you are using AutoCAD or when you are performing a project using AutoCAD, and then you would wish to use some of these tools to come up with a particular design. So that's how we use the modifying tools in AutoCAD. I hope this tutorial will help you a lot when you are a fast learner or you have been using AutoCAD and there are some tools that you have not been able to use because you don't know how to perform them. So I think I've shown you how to perform various tools here under modify and how they are being applied in AutoCAD. Thank you, and let's meet shortly for the next lesson.